Thank you for joining this evening. This is our Rotary E-Club of District 7710 meeting on January 10th. And I'm going to pass it over to our program chair, Kathy, to introduce our speaker.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jan. It gives me great pleasure this evening to introduce Diana Phillips to our Rotary E-Club of District 7710. Diana Phillips, aka Rachel Diana Charles Phillips, is a North Carolinian from Greensboro. She's been a Rotarian since 2011 and has been a member of the Rotary E-Club since 2016. She's had a wanderlust since childhood and has taken every opportunity to see other parts of the United States as well as other foreign countries. She has lived in England, France, Dubai, and Bahrain, where she has worked as a nanny, a teacher, and a school librarian. Diana will speak this evening about her vocational service experiences working abroad. So please join me in welcoming Diana as our guest speaker.
Thank you very much. I grew up, as many of you did, with National Geographic, and I thought the world was this extraordinary place, and I wanted to see as much of it as I could. And I didn't quite know how to do that. I had a degree in French, and I was working on a master's at Indiana University in French. And although I could conjugate at least 100 verbs in the subjunctive past and present, I couldn't hold my own in a conversation. So I decided to go to France. I went with other students to the University of Caen for the summer session, Caen in Normandy. And after that, I just stayed, and I found a job being au pair, which means on an equal level with family members. But what you are really is the nanny. And if you want to learn to speak a foreign language, the best way to do it is to be around children, because they correct every word, every sentence you get wrong. So I stayed there for a year and got my French up to par and came back to Indiana and finished my master's. Then I taught, and I took a librarian's course at UNC Greensboro and became a school librarian. I wanted to get abroad, and I was able to come across this book called Schools Abroad of Interest to Americans. I thought the places that I wanted to work should be as different from our culture as possible. So I thought Africa or Asia. And I found a school in Dubai. I applied for it, went up to Washington, D.C. to interview, and was lucky enough to get the job as school librarian there. The school was only 10 years old when I went, and it was, the library was like S for science, H for history, F for fiction. No system of having the books in order other than that. So it was really kind of starting from scratch, and it was a wonderful challenge. I stayed there for 4 years. I met Barry there. He was working as a banker for Lloyd's Bank International. And we married, came back to Greensboro, got married, and then we moved to Bahrain, where I taught as a teacher of English as a second language. So I know that most of you are in your own career paths, but I thought if you know people who want to work abroad, there are several ways to do it, and it's so much easier now because of the internet. You can Google anything you want, and you can go straight to it. The easiest way to work abroad is to be a teacher, because there are American schools everywhere, and sometimes they're called international schools, but for the most part they have an American curriculum, or they have the international baccalaureate, and American teachers can fit very easily into schools like that. The way to do it is to go to the school online. Just if you want to work in Tokyo, say American School, Google American School in Tokyo, and you can find out what jobs are available and interview for them. There are also job fairs around the world for teachers. So you're really quite free if you teach abroad. You can set your own schedule. Say you want to work 3 years in Rio de Janeiro, then you want to go to the Ivory Coast, then you want to go to Beijing. You can just move around the world like that, and it's a wonderful way to see the world. But many people are already set in their own career paths. So if you are an accountant, you can Google accounting jobs. Oh dear. Can you hear me? Because there's a little bit of noise.
Oh, sorry, let me mute.
Okay. And if you want to work in certain places like Singapore draws you, look up Singapore and find out what jobs are available in Singapore. Now, are there any questions?